What's up, guys? Northcam here. I'm at LAX, getting ready to get back on a flight home to Seattle. But had to get a quick few thoughts out on this crazy win by the Seahawks over the Minnesota Vikings. Well, obviously, the storyline there everyone's going to be talking about is the missed field goal by Blair Walsh, which was, how else do you put it? It was a miracle, luck, whatever, football gods shining down upon us. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying we did not win that game as much as the Vikings lost it. Kind of like how we lost the Super Bowl. The Patriots did not win that game. We lost the game. In this case, we flipped it around. Now the Vikings know what we felt like at the end of that Super Bowl. When you have a game where you really should win it based on all the odds and the factors on it, and you don't pull it through, that's on you failing to get the win. Now, first of all, let me just say, I'm so excited and thrilled that we won that game and to be moving on to the playoffs, because basically, you take what you can get. I don't care if it's a missed field goal, whatever. It's the playoffs. It's surviving and moving on. Doesn't matter how ugly. Look at that Cincinnati Bengal game last night. That's about as ugly as you can get. Cincinnati completely blowing it, falling apart on a game they should have won. But so we had a little bit of luck on our side. We had some plays that didn't go our way. We had the chance to seal it on our terms if the offense could have gotten a first down conversion on our last possession before we had to punt it away, and we didn't. And Minnesota did everything they were supposed to do except finish the play, and they didn't do it, fortunately for us. All right, so I'm going to give credit to the Vikings because you guys played a hard-ass game. You guys fought to the end. You guys, Bridgewater made some plays, made some nice passes there. Walsh was 3 for 4. He just missed the most important one. So credit to the Vikings, man. They played a hard game. I knew it was going to be closer. I didn't think it'd be this close, but it was going to be a closer game. But going back to the other side, I thought, watching how that game was, it was ugly. We certainly didn't play our best game of the season there, but I thought on the positive side, the defense was fantastic. I mean, we never gave up the touchdown. Kept it to 3 field goals. And we kept Adrian Peterson at like 20-something carries for less than, I think it was under 60 yards. And I said, if we can keep Peterson under 60 yards, we should win this game, and we did. And that's amazing to keep a runner like him in 2 games. One game for 18 yards, the second game for 3 times as many carries, and keeping him to an average about like 2 yards per carry. That is something else. So our defense, bent but didn't break. So kudos to the defense for playing a tough game and staying strong to the finish. Offensively, I'm gonna. Wilson was just off this much on so many throws. He had on a normal day he would have hit Lockett at least 2 out of 3 times on those deep routes, and it was, I'm going to say the weather affected their inability to get some of those explosive plays that were right there. I mean, Baldwin, Lockett, they both got behind the secondary and would have been touchdowns in a normal situation, but the weather didn't make it happen. And Wilson was just a little bit off, a little bit behind people on some throws, a little bit overthrown, and this was a fluky situation. So I liked how they called the plays. They kept it balanced with never abandoning the run game, even though we weren't really ripping chunks off the run game this time. I thought Michael did an okay job. I'm glad he didn't put the ball on the ground, which Adrian Peterson did. There were some times where I thought there was a huge hole that if he just darts it in and heads north and south, that he gets a big chunk of yardage or maybe even breaks through. But instead, he bounced kind of out to the side when I thought he should just went straight up, and I think he could have gotten more yardage on a few of those plays. These are plays that Rawls was finding ways to slash and dash and get big chunks off of. So I thought he did okay. He could have done, I think, a little bit better, but I was not too disappointed with how he ran the ball today. Other than that, I haven't not looked at really any stats. I predicted Wilson would get a little over 200, low 200s in yardage. We maybe got that. I'm not sure. But I will say that to me, the play of the game was Wilson taking that muff snap that went by his head and how he was able to pick that ball up when it looked like he was about ready to just sort of go into field position and take the hit, take the down. Everybody collapsed down on him, and he gets up and scrambles to the right and finds an open Tyler Lockett crossing the field, and then runs it down to the 4-yard line to an eventual touchdown, only touchdown of the game. That was the play of the game for me because of, again, I think Wilson is the only player in the NFL who could have pulled that off. Only player. And that was, to me, that makes up for all the missed shots that he had, because that took something of a athletic play that very few people in the world could have pulled off, and he did it. So to me, that was the play of the game. That got us the touchdown, got us to within a field goal, which eventually we did get and took the lead from. But that was the play of the game. That did it for us, because had it gone the other way, we'd probably lose that game. So that was awesome. Just amazing play. And then my second favorite play was that Baldwin catch where he went up. I swore I thought that ball was going to be incomplete, and he climbed the ladder like Spider-Man, pulled his own Odell Beckham Jr., jumped up, put his hand up there, one-handed, 5'10" receiver playing like a 6'3" receiver, and grabbed that ball, hauled it in. That was an amazing catch. I can't remember if we scored it. I don't think we scored anything off that. I can't remember, but it was just an amazing play. People are getting on the plane now. I'm going to wrap this up soon. Again, it doesn't matter how ugly it is. And if anything, if Carolina was watching that game and thinking, obviously I'm sure they were like going, no, when we won, when Walsh missed that field goal. I hope they get cocky. I hope they look at this and think, oh yeah, well, Seattle sucked. We're going to kick their butts, because, that would just be perfect. Because last time Seattle had a lousy game was against the Rams, and look at what we did the following week against the Cardinals. So to me, this is our playoff bad game, and it's a blessing if you can play a crappy game and win it. So we won in the ugliest of fashions, with luck on our side. But now I think coming after that's just surviving that game on the road in those conditions. Now we go to warmer Carolina against a team who's got everything to lose in terms of number 1 seed, only 1 defeat on the season, feeling like they're unstoppable. Cam doing his thing, and Norman, that cornerback, doing his thing. I want those guys to feel like they've got this. And I like the fact that we're coming to that game as underdogs. And I think that sets up perfectly, because we can be the team that no one's given us a chance. I expect to be the complete underdogs, nobody picking us to win that game. And to me, that's the perfect recipe for what we do best. All right, I may be going to that game next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I got to get on this plane. All right. Good win. Good loss by the Vikings. All right. On and on, moving forward. One game at a time. Want to know every week. Go Hawks.